Welcome, everybody, to Thumbstick Adventures. I'm your host, IDK. My two co-hosts, as usual.
I'm Kagros.
And I am Juicy Samples.
Welcome. And as you all know, you can find us, if you're watching us on Twitch, we have a YouTube channel called Thumbstick Adventures. Just search us up. We also have a Twitter by the same name. I don't really care. But today, my friends, we are going to look at the fascinating subject of trophies. Trophies, achievements, gamer score, in that order of importance. Now, we're going to start this off with a bit of an intro to trophies and achievements and what have you for those who may be tuning in and going saying, IDK, I don't know what that is. I plug a disc into my PS2 and it just plays the game. I don't get any rewards for playing the game. Well, my friend, you are in for quite a shock. Turns out the rest of us out here have been playing games where you put in the game, you load it up, you set up your camera function in your first-person shooter, achievement unlocked. You're ready to rock. Okay? Now, achievements started in 2005 with the Xbox, surprisingly. Microsoft sort of jumping to the punch here, trying to get people excited for playing games by introducing a metagame on top of your games. So you're playing a game on top of your games in your games. And basically what it was a list of sort of things you could accomplish in a game that would give you points for achieving these things, these sort of goals. And when you completed them, the points got added to your gamer score, which would be highlighted on your profile. And so you get credit. You get rep. You say, oh, I got gamer score of 500. What's your gamer score? 2. I'm a bigger gamer than you are. Well, other studios and companies didn't want to be beaten to the punch. So you had Xbox within 2005. Then Valve came out with Steam and put them in 2007. Give Steam achievements. Sony would be late to the punch. And in 2008 would come out with them for the PS3. The first game to have it was Superstar HD. I don't know what the game is, but apparently it had trophies patched onto it. And Sony decided rather than just simply having achievements for you to get and points to display on your profile, they go a step further. And they introduced the idea of trophies of varying levels. You have low-tier bronze and silver, the ones everyone has a bunch of. Gold, your mid-tier achievement, might be a little harder to do, but you get a bunch of those too. And then platinums. Really hard to get. You gotta complete the whole damn game to get them. A real bragging point. And the first game to have a platinum, believe it or not, I couldn't believe this myself, was Uncharted Drake's Fortune. It was patched to have it after release, I think like the first day. Bought the game, loaded it in, and boom, you got them. And although originally trophies were going to be an optional feature for all games going forward, Sony later decided, you know what, we like these things, we like the hype they build around games, so now you have to include trophies in all your games when you submit them to be certified after January 1st of 2009. The only exception to this were PS1 Classics and PS2 Classics. Your game came from an era where trophies didn't exist. They didn't have to have them. Now, of course, with all the re-releases, they include trophies, but some of them are kind of bullshit, honestly. But anyways, moving on. Now that we've explained trophies, we can finally get into the heart of the discussion.
Mr. IDK, I have a question.
Yes.
What about Mr. Nintendo? Where is Nintendo of all of this? Do they have trophies too?
Nintendo, I actually do not know.
I know the answer to this.
I did not bother looking into it because they're so far behind on internet-related things in their games. I don't think it's even relevant to bring them up. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Do they, Kagros?
So they actually don't.
Okay.
I actually had they added them in the Switch? I don't think so, right? I don't think so.
No, it was a rhetorical question. No, they do not have anything
so
like that, unfortunately.
I know their philosophy behind it is that they want the gamers to come with their own achievements, basically. They don't, they're like, oh, we don't need to come up with a list of achievements that you need to get. You can just come up with them yourself because that's how we've played games. Like in Legend, like Ocarina of Time, right? Like you don't have to tell me to go out and find all the heart pieces, right? And get the maximum hearts. It's just something that kind of happens. So yeah, their philosophy
True.
is come up with your own achievements. Gamers don't need us to come up with those for them because you know that when you played that Super Mario 64, you went and found all the stars.
True. They have really never supported it from their perspective, from their end. Now, games on the said consoles for Nintendo, like N64 or GameCube or whatever, the games themselves could have completion achievements within them.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't part of a bigger Nintendo ecosystem, it was just like 100%ing a game. You could 100%, was what, Resident Evil 4 for the Wii? There was a counter in game you could, for whatever you did, you get percentage. But in any case, they don't have this exterior reward system.
I think they do. I think they do, but it's not
Do
what
they
you
now?
think. I believe they have it for like the My Nintendo account. I want to say Fire Emblem Heroes has something that connects to like it's probably only for the mobile games. There might be some kind of achievement system that connects all of them together that I believe goes to your Switch. My Switch. I can't recall entirely, but they might have some kind of achievement system for the mobile games that, and then I can't. I'm not too sure. I'll have to look. I can't. I cannot say with 100% certainty.
I mean, I think that's the thing right there. Like, the fact that we don't even know if they have an achievement system or not kind of speaks volumes about whether they actually have one or not. It's not definitive.
Let me look it up while you continue.
Now, we've been discussing the history of trophies and sort of what they are. Now, the big question, the one that we're going to have a lot more to discuss and sort of fight over about, is why. Why do trophies exist? Why do we care about them? Or do we care about them? And are they good or bad for gaming in general? And I sort of open this up for free discussion. If you'd like, I can go first and explain my thoughts on this.
So let's go with the first question of why do they exist? And
Yeah.
I think they exist just so that they can. I think initially it's just to log people's activities in gaming from a very business corporate sense. Like they want to know, like, oh, how many gamers complete a certain game, where did they stop off, and I think it was very analytical. And then from a gamer side, it's just to brag. Like it's on your public profile. You can say, "Oh, I've completed Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, all platinum." Like I'm a true Final Fantasy fan. So, yeah, that's my take on it.
Okay.
So
And what do you think,
why do we
Kagros?
have achievements? I think GC
Yes.
samples Juicy covered most of them, but I think it's also for gamer retention too. Especially like back in the day, back when they first came out, gamer retention wasn't as important because of DLC, right? There was actually a lack of DLC. With the rise of DLC, gamer retention actually becomes more important now. But having achievements definitely helps the gamer retention, and it makes gamers hold on to the game for longer, which means that they won't sell the game as quickly. Which means that because they won't sell the game as quickly, then the price of the game can remain higher for longer periods of time, so that the publisher can basically make more money. And then like obviously achievement, you can also compete with your friends, like what we were saying. Oh, who's got the most platinums? I got more platinums than you. I am very sure I know who has the most platinums in this among the three of us. I'm not gonna say who it is, but I am pretty sure I know who it is. So, like, it's just like, oh look, check out my e-peen. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You think you have a big e-peen? Well, check out the size of mine, right? And that's why that's what the gamer score was, right? It's like, okay, look at me, look at all these points that I am definitely the better gamer than you are, and for teenagers that's really important, right? And also, and then because there's a gamer score, so gamer score, it's actually a lot more telling because you want to increase your gamer score, and the easiest way to increase your gamer score is just to go buy more games and play them. You don't have to do quality, just go for quantity, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think with regards to the gamer score. I think that was the biggest factor. It was to push people to buy more games so they can show off to their friends, basically, to say that, oh look, I'm such a hardcore gamer, you have nothing on me. And then obviously what Juicy said, I think Juicy's point about from the business point aside, tracking those stats across the games to see with the gamer retention. I think that was also probably a really big reason on why they implemented it as well. So from the marketing side,
Yeah.
sell more games. From the business side, just to track analytics, as you will.
Yeah.
Data
I
points.
say I have to agree. Data points. I have to agree with both of you. Those are the main points I was going to bring.
The real answer is, why do they have achievements? The answer is money. That's why. Money.
Yeah. I was going to say just that, my friends. Basically, it's a easy way of retaining player base for a game that, pardon me, it also ensures people don't race through games to beat them too quickly so they can resell them really fast. Or, now this is back from the rental days, people who would rent a game and beat it in one weekend and just never rent it again, Notoriously, the Lion King on NES, was it SNES? SNES. No, Genesis. Whatever. The Lion King game back in the old days had a very notoriously difficult level in the middle of the game, designed to force people to have to rent the game over and over again from the rental store. Because the rental store wouldn't have rented it otherwise, because people would just play it and beat it and never rent it again. So by coming in here with achievements, it gives them a way of telling people, hey, play this game, beat it like you normally were going to, and then you're going to have all this stuff extra to do to increase your ranking or your score or whatever, and make you feel like you've actually accomplished something and completed the game fully. And at the same time, you're going to hold on to that game for a long time, so you're not going to be able to just easily turn around and resell it to someone else. They'll have to go and buy a new copy of the game. So it drives business, it drives analytics. What Juicy said about using trophies to find out how far someone gets in a game, that's actually become pretty relevant these days. You want to know if people aren't running into a roadblock and just giving up on your game. But it also helps that business side. Rental stores have gone the way of the dinosaur, but GameStop still exists. And you don't want someone beating your game real fast and then trading it into GameStop.
Yep.
And letting GameStop make free money off that game when you're not going to get any of it.
So I want to chime in on my previous point here. I'm looking at my Nintendo account. So actually, they do have an achievement system, but it's only for the mobile games, Nintendo.
Really?
Yes, they do have an achievement system. Like, I'm looking through this, so you can get like points by completing certain milestones in these, and it's like Fire Emblem Heroes, Super Mario Run, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. So there are definitely, and then actually surprisingly, yeah. So there is definitely an achievement system. They do have an achievement system, but it's only limited to their mobile games. And I believe the reason for that is because of the fact that there are Google Play, and I think Apple might have some kind of gamer achievements as well. I know Google Play definitely has achievements, so they were already built in. So they just basically took, it was free, so they pulled it out. They pulled it in as well.
Mhm.
Nintendo didn't have to do any hard work on their end.
Exactly.
It was just...
So yeah, so they actually do have achievements, but it's only for their mobile games.
Players, they're a bit behind the curve, and I don't know if they'll ever decide to put them in.
I don't think they will.
Because this does segue into our next point about trophies and whether they positively or negatively impact our gameplay of games. So obviously we have Nintendo deciding not to put them in, believing that you should play the game your own way and not focus on trying to complete it 100%. You just play it, beat it, and you're happy. Whereas Xbox, Steam, PlayStation have trophy lists. Some games are notorious for how difficult they are to complete. Some games are notorious for how easy they are to complete. We will tackle both. And I just wanted to get your guys' feelings on if trophies impact the games you play, and if knowing whether a game is easy or hard to complete impacts your willingness to try to complete them.
So for me, trophies do not affect whether or not I actually complete a game. Basically get from the beginning to the end of the main story. It has no effect. Trophies only affect me when basically post game. Like, do I continue playing the game to get the achievements, or do I just move on? And like if you look like Last of Us 2, for example, right? Last of Us 2, I think, was a fairly simple simple thing. Now, okay, so the trophies, they do affect my gameplay. If there's some kind of like collectible trophy that I need to do, then I'll look up as I play through my first run, I'll like have a guide open so that I know where to find everything. Like Last of Us, for example, like I need to find all the workbenches. So I have a guide open, tell me where to find the workbench. I need to find all the playing cards. I will have the guide open, then and a no spoiler guide, of course, but it'll tell you where to find all the collectibles as you make your way through the first game. So I don't need to basically go back and replay the entire game a second time. That is just a collectible hunt. So that's the only way the trophies will affect my gameplay, is if there's some kind of collectible trophy, then I will use a guide to that will tell me where all the trophies are or where all of the collectibles are. But other than that, it doesn't affect it doesn't affect deciding whether I finish the game or not.
I have a question, Kagros.
Yeah.
Do you like doing that?
No.
Like, or
sorry, go ahead.
if there's a trophy that, or what is there like a certain game where if it does have that collectible trophy that you'll always pull up a guide for? Like, I'm just wondering if it's because it's The Last of Us 2 is the reason why you pulled up a guide to get that trophy, versus if it were another game that had the same type of collectible trophy.
So, for example,
that you would want to.
For example, I just finished Danganronpa V3. That one I also pulled. There is a collectible in there that is only, and it's time limited too. So you can only find this type of collectible in every chapter. So for every chapter, there's 5 of them, and you need to, and then they're in places, and I don't want to search the whole school to keep finding them. So I pull up the guide, and I actually forgot about it for the first chapter. So now I need to replay the first chapter to get those missing collectibles. But yeah, most of the time I will. It's not just limited to Last of Us. I think the only game
yeah, go ahead.
where I didn't was something like Persona 5, right? Like, for Persona 5, there's a thing for max out confidants, right? So for that game, I did not pull up a guide that tells you how to max out the confidants. I feel like that would actually ruin the game for me if I followed the guide to do the I want to go after my wife first, so I got to do it in that order, like I need my wife to, that's how she knows that she's number one, because I maxed her first. I mean, yeah, Kawakami wasn't actually not, unless you're Kawakami, then you kind of have to max her first, right?
Kind of.
So I guess it kind of boils down to, do you all like trophies to begin with? Like, are they important enough for you to factor it in as you play your game?
For me, yes. Yes.
For you, yes. Okay. For me, I think my history with trophies kind of is a bit column A and a bit column B, because when they were first introduced, I thought of them as like sort of like kind of crummy gimmicks. I never focused on trophies at all. I just simply played a game to experience the story, and whatever I experienced, and that was it. I didn't care to go back. I didn't care to complete. It wasn't until later when I stopped, my volume of games sort of dwindled. I only bought a couple games per year as opposed to a whole bunch. That I was looking at trophies more and more as sort of like a way to get money's worth out of a game. But even then, still, I would only complete games I really liked, like Ratchet and Ratchet and Clank? Yeah. Ratchet and Clank series had trophies, and I completed those because I really liked those games. So it was worth it to me to spend the hours grinding or searching or using a guide to find stuff. If I'm willing to replay the game multiple times, then I'm going to do it. And if I'm going to do it, might as well follow the trophy list, right? And complete it that way. Get that 100% completion, fully experience the game, and get my money's worth. Will I do that for every game? Not necessarily. Trails of Cold Steel 3 I have on PS4, and I haven't fully completed that game, mainly because I hate difficulty level trophies. So you have to beat that game on the highest level of difficulty, which is Nightmare. I do not like those. I don't like being forced to play difficulty level I don't want to play at for a trophy. Because usually it just involves making the bosses meat sponges, and it's very tiresome to play through. It ruins the game. Or collectathons, where like you have to use a guide to collect everything. Unless it's a game I really like, I don't want to sit there with a guide open looking for random hidden spots for treasures. Something that falls into that realm would be like God of War 2018, where I love that game to death. I want to do another playthrough of it on a PS5 when I finally get one because it's going to be in 60 FPS. But I cannot go back into that game right now on my PS4 Pro and find all the ravens or hunt down all the Valkyries. I will not do it. It is boring. It is like, it is a slog. If I were playing for the first time and I had a guide open, or if I hadn't beat the game and I wanted to do all that, maybe I would. That's what I did for Horizon Zero Dawn. But once I beat it, I didn't want to do the trophy before. I'm not going to do the trophy after.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, definitely some games are pretty overload. Like there are some, like for example, like Infamous Second Son. You know, Infamous always has the trophy of collecting all the shards. Now, one thing for a game like that, I am not going to open up a guide and do all the collectibles as I play through the game. Is way too much. Like what I would do for a game like that is I pick up whatever I have. Whatever I see, I'll get it. But I'm not going to go out of my way to open up a guide and hunt down every single shard, right? And do that. And like that's like a post game thing that I would do. I would go through and then finish it like that. So it does come down to if like okay, the collectibles, how much out of my way do I need to go to get them? If I don't need to go too much out of my way from the main story, then I'll open up a guide. And you can definitely tell like Last of Us is the collectibles you don't have to go out of your way. They're there because like Last of Us is a linear game, right? And it's just a straightforward path. So you just go ahead and just go through and get and open up a guide, and then you're gonna run through them anyway. But like for something like an open world game where you have to do collectibles, there's no freaking way that I'm gonna do that because it's gonna really dilute my enjoyment of the main story, which is why I bought the game. I didn't buy the game to get trophies. I bought it to play through the main story basically. So like that, I think that's the big determination on whether or not I open up a guy. Like, does it seem like the collect? First of all, are the collectibles story gated? By like if it's an open world game, like will the collectibles only show up at certain parts of the story and disappear later on, so I can't go back and get them, or and how much do I do I have to go out of my way to get them? So that those are factors that determine whether or not I open up a guide or not. Nowadays, most collectibles they aren't story gated. Like Danganronpa, I think is probably the most recent one, but like there are some like you can go to like Red Dead Redemption 2. There are certain trophies that are story or that are time gated, where like if you go to the end game, you won't be able to get that trophy anymore. So for those, you also need to if you plan on trying to get platinum, that you need to make sure of that. I mean, you can get around this stuff by having like I have multiple save files all the time. Anytime there's a new chapter, all right, new save file just in case I have to go back and do something in this previous chapter. So like Persona, I don't know how many save slots I have. I know IDK has a lot of save slots for P5. Like, just look at that shit eating grin, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot
He had
of
a
it.
lot for vanilla. I know P5 vanilla. He had a lot. Like Danganronpa, I had a good amount too as well. So I use my save slots very Like I use them like I use a lot. Like one playthrough of a game, I could probably have like 20 save slots just in case for achievements.
And shoot, P5, I had one save slot for every girl I wanted to date. And,
I was gonna ask if you had one for every day,
Every
no,
day.
literally every day.
no, not every day. That's way too many. But I had one for every single girl I was interested in dating in that game, and I had made progress on each one so that I could select them before the final day or whatever. And yeah, funny story there. It ended up backfiring because I wasn't able to actually get any girl for my first playthrough of Persona 5. So I actually saw the no romance ending, which was actually pretty sweet. It's kind of nice.
It's okay.
Really, I was gonna say that's very unfortunate.
It's okay.
Oh, it was very unfortunate. I was like, I know I don't have enough time to get any of them.
It's
I'm
okay.
screwed.
You'll always have Ryuji.
Oh no, the Christmas event first is like, it's you, Furuba, and Sojiro,
Yeah.
and Morgana, and you're celebrating Christmas in the bar. And it's like, oh, didn't get a date, huh? And she's like, nah, he's a loser. You're just like, oh. Valentine's one's a bit funnier, with Ryuji giving you some compensation chocolate. But, anyways, let's see here. Okay. Moving on. Have any trophies or achievements ruined any games for you personally? And did they affect how enjoyable a game was for you?
For me, no. Not that I can think of. I don't think there's any game where, like I said, trophies to me are optional. So if I feel like they'll be a detriment to my game, then I will not bother chasing them. The game comes first.
Okay.
Kind of going back to your question on does trophies affect how you play the game?
Yeah.
It does, in a sense that I do not look at the trophies list. Because there are some really bad ones where there are like trophies that you can see and there are hidden trophies. And like based on the hidden trophies and their placement, you can use that to know how far along you are in the game. And I really don't like that.
Mm.
So there isn't just any one trophy that made me dislike a game, but I think in the past I have played it where before I even played a game, I look at the trophies list, and that itself kind of ruins the fun out of playing the game. So I don't do that anymore.
So
Um,
I think now what you can do to prevent that, you can sort your trophies by how many people own them, like rarity basically, and it kind of hides how far along you are in the game, because the platinum trophy is always at the top, right? And then the story driven trophies, most of them are at the bottom, but at the last final chapter trophy might be somewhere closer to the top, and because it becomes a lot more harder to see how far along you are in the game. But
Yeah, I
like,
definitely.
yeah.
I was gonna say,
you could sort them by rarity to kind of get around that. But if you really don't want to be spoiled at all, then you shouldn't look at the trophy list regardless.
yeah. I was gonna say it really depends on the developer and whether they like trophies or not. I know some will have the story trophies scattered throughout the trophy list, and other ones will have them like sort of a block. That way they ensure the trophies that they're blocked, but they'll have them more towards the middle. Those have a whole bunch of like hidden trophies in the middle that you obviously haven't unlocked. So they must be story ones, but they could also be actual like secrets in the game. And they sort of like try to hide how far you are in the story. For me, I think I try not to let trophies influence whether I want to play a game or not. I'll just play the game. But if I do end up feeling like the game's getting kind of boring or I'm not really enjoying it, I will go to a trophy list to see like how much I have completed, if maybe I should just play to complete the game instead. And sometimes that works in my favor, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it just ejects me even more of how little I've played the game, or like how little I've completed. And so I'm just like, do I just brute force through the rest of the game to get my money's worth, or do I just give up? One example of this would be Atelier Ryza.
That's their favorite game.
That game was not my favorite game. That game was.
Did you want to play number 2?
Oh no, Mr. Squidward! I did not want to play number 2. I thought maybe I would, because of thighs save lives. See, but unfortunately, damn thighs weren't enough to save that game. That game is boring. And it is a snore fest, and it's a grind fest, and I did not know what I was getting into because it was. I had to push myself so hard to beat that game. Just get through the story. I looked at the completion list.
What game is this? Atelier
Ryza.
Ryza?
Yeah.
Ever Darkness and the Secret Hideout?
That's
Kagros is intrigued now.
Come on, it's an anime game. Of course I'm going to be intrigued. Man,
It is.
I want to see them some anime titties, dude.
Also, you get your baited. You think when you buy the digital edition, you'll get the special no cape costume for her? You don't.
Wait. What is this game? Like, what is it? What is it about? Why is it
It's
bad?
literally it's about alchemy.
Why is it bad?
I love, like, people like the game because of the way it works. I don't like the game because of the way the game worked. Okay, the story was mediocre. The gameplay is all about going out and harvesting.
I'm not interested.
Harvesting materials and using alchemy to make new stuff, and that can actually be kind of fun. The problem is it becomes a huge slog, a huge grind, and their story elements stuck behind.
Discover new recipes. Oh, I know it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad for completion. You have to find all the recipes, don't you? You have to make all the recipes, don't you, huh?
Yeah, you have to raise your level up to a certain amount. Like, the game was very hard for me to push through, but I did. I did beat it. So it was like, that was a case where like trophies didn't help me get through it. I was just like, I just need to beat it because I want to beat it because I don't have this physically, so I can't sell it to GameStop. I either beat it and finish it, or I don't. It just sits and rots on my hard drive forever. But a game where looking at the trophy list did help me probably was the game I just finished recently with Nier Automata. Now, the first 15 hours of that game were a slog to me. You're just sort of powering through, trying to get to the first ending, and it just kind of goes on. You can get lost doing side quests, and you just feel like, oh my god, I hate these. I hate Jean-Franc de Paul. I hate this side quest. I don't want to play this game anymore. It's boring. And I looked at the trophy list, and I was like, well, there isn't actually that many trophies. Some of them are really weird, though, like complete 80% of quests or upgrade all weapons. And then there were some hidden ones that I was like, oh, these are kind of weird. But I was like, okay. And then I looked up how hard it was to complete the game. And it was a 2 out of 10. Easy as pie. And I was like, how is this game easy as pie? There's literally a quest where you have to, like, upgrade all the weapons. That costs hundreds of gold. Thousands of gold. It takes forever. Like, how is this easy? My boy, Yoko Taro, blessed be his name. He's the director of Nier Automata. He doesn't like trophies. He thinks trophy hunting is a joke. So once you've beaten the game 3 times and gotten to ending C, one of the characters in the main base camp, this is a spoiler warning.
Oh, hold on. Let me put on the spoiler tag. Oh, this needs to go up. All right. Spoilers tag us up.
Okay, there are multiple endings in Nier Automata. There's 27 of them. You only need to do 5 to get into the main story. And after you've completed ending C or D, one of the two, you will unlock a character in the base camp who will pull you to the side and be like, hey, we got to keep this on a down low, but you can trade gold for special relics of the Elder Age. And you're like, what special relics of the Elder Age? So you click on her and you talk and you go into the menu. You can buy the trophies.
Yes.
You don't have to complete them. There's a quest or something you didn't want to do. You didn't want to find all the stupid fish in the rivers from fishing. 50,000 gold.
Pay to win,
Done.
baby. Pay to win.
Pay to win. Pay to win.
That's
And
incredible.
and the thing is, and it gave me incredible freedom to know that, look, all you have to do is just push through the game, play story-wise, and enjoy the story. And then at the end of it, you can go back and do whatever quests or whatever trophies you want to do by yourself. And if you're just tired and want the platinum, sell all your shit and buy the trophies, and boom, you're done. And that's kind of what I did. I realized I didn't have to worry about the trophies anymore. Didn't have to worry about completing anything anymore. Side quests, that boring ass side quest about escorting a stupid clown robot to the street, gone. Didn't care about it anymore. Just played the story. And the story was amazing, and I love the game now. And I got all 5 endings. I saw the whole canon thing. I went inside. I did all the extra endings I wanted to. I used a guide for that to see like what they were and how to do them. I just realized I don't really want to have to go through and try to do all these endings, so I just paid that off. And I did some fishing, and I found some cool stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm done with fishing. I paid that off. And then I did some other ones where I was pretty close to completing them. And I completed them. And then the rest, I was like, yeah, that takes too long. That takes a long time. I'm not interested in that. Boom, boom, boom. Paid off. Platinum unlocked. Done with the game.
Are we still on spoiler mode?
Yeah, I still have to tag up.
And and it's like, and there was references to the first game, Near Replicant / Gestalt, and some side quests for that. And I'm like, I don't care about that. Like, I read the quest descriptions for those on like trophy guides, and I was like, I don't care. I literally don't care. So, whoop, gone, done. I still had a great time with the game. I still enjoyed it, and it's because I figured I knew I didn't have to focus on doing the trophies, that I could actually just focus on the main story and complete it and enjoy it for what it was supposed to be.
But then that kind of sucks, right? Because the trophies did negatively affect you from playing the game. Just in general. Like you would have...
Well, I think there were...
Like,
I think, yes, looking at the
trophies
I got
affected
bored
you.
of the game when I was doing the story and then trying to focus on doing the trophies. And then when I found out I didn't actually have to do the trophies, I could actually just focus on the main story and punch through that and then do whatever trophies I wanted to do. It was incredibly freeing. And the existence of this trophy shop, as it's called, has some people angry and has some people very happy. Personally, I wouldn't mind seeing it in a few other games. I think maybe the number should have been boosted up a little higher. I think some of the trophies were incredibly cheap, gold-wise. They could have been double or triple their price. They make it worth it. If, like, you really don't want to do that trophy, you can pay and get rid of it. Maybe you should play and enjoy that. But they gave me the choice to get that elusive platinum.
But I think that's some pretty good commentary of the director saying that these achievements mean nothing. And if all games had this option of you paying off to have these trophies, then what's the point of trophies, right? It kind of defeats the purpose.
Well, I think to counter that argument, we should look to our favorite game of all time. The best game of all time, rather, as a certain
All right, hold on.
YouTuber would put it.
I'm going to remove the spoiler tag now. I think we're out of spoiler range here. All right, go ahead, continue.
The
Best game?
The best game.
Super Mario
game.
Brothers 2!
No, I know what IDK is talking about.
Our dear friend, our protector of the faith, Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royale.
No.
Doing the
No. I think you just mean Persona 5 Royal. Not Persona 5 Vanilla. Persona 5 Royal.
No, Mr. Squidward. I have to say something about Persona 5 Regular. Persona 5 Regular had a bunch of trophies that were kind of grind-a-thons, that were kind of collect-a-thons, that were kind of explore the whole game-a-thons. But if you love that game a lot and you wanted more to do and stay in that world, that trophy list gave you a ton to do. Read all the books. Play all the video games. fish out the Guardian of the Lake, get a bunch of home runs, things that I didn't even touch in like my first 3 playthroughs of the game. When I did the trophy
playthroughs.
I played 5 playthroughs of that game.
I actually have to disagree with you there, IDK. I think all of those are collectathons. They're definitely collectathons. Like obviously for certain people they're gonna like it, but certain people will not like it.
Sure, but if you're in love with the game and you want more to do, they were perfect in that regard.
Oh yeah, of
like
course.
maybe you didn't explore.
Yeah, no.
Didn't explore the batting cage. You thought it was just a waste of time.
It was a waste
now
of
there's
time.
a trophy to do. Okay,
it was a waste of time.
to do it. It was fun though.
No,
it was fun. It was a fun collectathon.
No,
it wasn't a grind. It wasn't a bore.
It's
you know.
I think collectathons, regardless, it's gonna be fun for some people. It's gonna be boring for some people. It just depends on how much you like like you said. It does depend on how much you like the game.
Let me make the difference between a collectathon trophy versus a trophy that requires multiple playthroughs. I think there's a difference. And with Persona 5 Vanilla, there are definitely trophies where you have to play the game multiple times.
Oh no, of course, but there's also the collectathon trophies too. It has both. It has both.
Call them I think these are like more exploratory trophies where it's like go fish the Guardian of the Lake. Like that means you have to play the fishing mini game and actually get good at it.
I'm
can't just
surprised.
ignore
You
it.
didn't fish.
You
didn't fish. I fished.
I didn't fish at all. I didn't fish. I didn't play. I didn't do baseball. I barely saw the movies or read the books. I mean, like reading the books, you do the most because you actually get stats from it.
No,
but like there were things I just play.
The books in vanilla were very, very hard to do. The fishing, it gave you like proficiency. That's why it was the best way to get proficiency in that game. I believe
that's the thing. On a blind playthrough, you're not going to know that. And you're not really going to care. So you're just going to leave it there because like it's just fishing minigame. Who cares?
No. On a blind playthrough, I knew it because you needed to max out proficiency to like get Haru's level 2. So that
that's why you make instruments. That's why you make tools.
Yeah, I thought proficiency was very easy to get. Actually.
Yeah. You're right.
You just make tools that actually benefit going into the palaces, whereas fishing was like
it does. But I think they buffed the tool making proficiency in Royal. In Vanilla, it was still pretty bad. Like
but that's the thing.
In Vanilla, I believe that fishing was the best way to increase proficiency. Yeah. So
But that's the thing. These trophies in 5, you beat the game. Maybe you play it again to see the secret boss. Maybe you weren't aware of it. Maybe you were because of the trophy. Who knows? But you had a reason to go back and play, and you had a reason to explore and get more intimate with that world. And it was actually fun and, in my opinion, interesting. Whereas other games, you have to go play the game again because you're collecting a bunch of like gems or emblems or raven feathers or whatever. And it was like completely uninteresting, completely boring. Wasn't a new mechanic or anything you had to do. It was just collect this.
I think at the very base level, I think it's still very, very similar with regards to collecting to collecting things. Like definitely, I would consider the confidants a collection thing. Because it's just a time grind. I would consider it a collecting thing. Just for an example, like I would consider that a collection thing because you literally are you are literally collecting waifus. That's what you're doing.
Right. But you at least know where they are. They're at least accessible. It's not like in God of War where you have to find all of Thor's ravens and kill them all, and they're randomly anywhere. They can be hiding in the shadows. They can be up on a cliff. They can be in a cave. You have to look everywhere.
No, I know, but in the like I said, at the very base level, you are collecting something.
At the base foundation, sure, it's the same action, but like one's a fun house, one's a grind house.
Yes.
I don't want to look for the goddamn ravens, but I do want to go get all the books and read all the books, or I want to play all the video games, or see all the movies. Like it drew me more into that game world. Whereas the other one was like reminding me that I'm doing Grindfest in a game for a trophy.
Anyways,
I was sad when the trophy list ended, but
we should definitely talk about Persona 5's Royal achievement system though, because I think that was a pretty good way to appeal to casuals of the game as well as hardcore fans of the game. Mr.
okay.
IDK, if you wanna talk about this as well, because
Well, I think Persona 5 Royale had a much easier one because a lot of the hard, grindy, collectathon stuff that people wouldn't like was removed from the trophy list and put into an in-game achievement system.
mm-hmm,
The Phantom Thieves Den or whatever it was called.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, you want to collect all the books again? You want to play all the games again? You want to do all this random sort of list stuff? It's there. The game will track it for you. You won't get a trophy for it though.
mm-hmm.
Whereas in P5, that was actually something you can get a trophy for. The trophies, meanwhile, for Royale were very clean lined, or very clean, very streamlined, very much story beats, some minor collectible stuff.
I think there was one. I think the hardest collectible one was the confidant one. I think there was still a trophy to max out all your bonds, but I think that was probably the most difficult trophy, I would say, other than beat the main game. I want to say.
I don't think there was a max all confidants in P5 Royale. There was max one max one confidant, I think.
Let me take a look.
Max all was P5 regular. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember.
Let me see.
That is something though against Royales because I can't remember Royale's trophy list very well because I basically completed it by beating the game once. I remember P5's trophy list because it took me 5 damn times to complete it.
Honestly, I was pretty bummed about Persona 5 Royal being easy to complete. Like, I actually don't like games where the trophies are really easy to get, or I should say, platinums are very easy to get just through one playthrough. I think
Okay.
because I actually like to replay games if I really like the game itself. So with that, I don't mind going through multiple playthroughs to get the achievements. So I wished Persona 5 Royal had the same or similar trophy list as Persona 5. Granted, I out of all my PS4 games, Persona 5 Royal is the only game I platinumed. The other one was Persona 5, which I got. I just looked at my list. It was 50%.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I maybe I'm in the minority here, but I actually like Persona 5 Royal's trophy system. I think it. You can get platinum for the casual fan that just beat the and Persona is a long game, right? It's already a long. So I just looked through the list. There is one to max your social stats, and then that's probably the hardest one on that list is probably being the Reaper. I think that's probably the hardest one. Yeah, you guys are right. There is not one for maxing out all confidants, but I do think the system that they used was a lot better because we talked about predatory practices, right? And trophies might they could be predatory, in that it does feed off of gamers' OCD, to complete it. So I do think that it's good to have that choice. We're like, okay, I want to platinum this game, and and for the casual people, it's easy to platinum it. You just complete the game, and it's not like Persona. I would even say that even that's easy, right? That's still a 90-hour time sink. You have to, and remember, it's Persona 5 Royal. It's not vanilla, so you have to go through all 3 semesters. And if you mess up in the game too, you might not even get that 3rd semester. So you will not be able to platinum it in one playthrough if you mess up, right? So I do think that platinum still has value because how many hours do you guys play to get through the first, like 100 hours, right? That's a lot of time. There are certain games where you could get platinum in less than 100 hours. Kingdom Hearts, I think to get platinum took me 80 hours. I want to say 80 hours of gameplay to get platinum on Kingdom Hearts 3. And like Persona 5, you need 100 hours to get through the damn game in the first place. And for the hardcore fans, you have the Thieves' Dens achievements that you could go ahead and complete too. So I think it's kind of like the best for both worlds. Like, especially for a long game like this one, it's like, hey, you want to get platinum? No problem. Just beat the game. And then, hey, you want a bigger challenge to show how much you love the game? All right, we got hard mode trophies for you in our game as well.
So with that being said, how important is it for everyone to platinum their trophies or to complete their trophy list?
It's not too important for me. And you can tell by the amount of platinums that I have that it's not too important for me. Like I'll get it. Like I said, I'll get it if it's basically free. But otherwise, yeah, I'm not gonna go ahead and bother with it. Dude, come on. We worked out, dude. Who's got the time to go ahead and go trophy hunting, man? Who's got the time? Like, if I'm gonna spend time playing video games, I want to play more video games. I don't want to play one video game for a long time. I just want to play a video game, beat it. All right, bring on the next one. That's all the time I have for. I don't got time to trophy hunt.
It's like I said, it really depends on the game, how much I like it. And I think also I have to put the criteria on that if I haven't beaten the game, if I haven't finished the story, I will be willing to go through and do the trophies if I think it's possible, if it's not too grindy or too bad. If I've already beaten the game, again, gotta go back to God of War, I'm not going to be interested in going back because I already know the story. And trying to like slog through the game to find things I should have found during gameplay is kind of unappealing to me. Now, if I ever decide to go back and play the game again for the story mode again, I may keep an eye out for the trophies and might try to do them the second time around. Where was I going with this? But if the game's too hard to complete, then no, I'm not going to try to go out of my way to do it. Like Destiny 1. Destiny 1 is a hard game to platinum for a multitude of reasons. It doesn't have that many trophies. It's actually pretty easy to get like 75%. But the big issue with that game is you have to complete a raid. Mm-hmm. So it's you plus like 5 other guys. And you have to beat it with no deaths. Even if it's on easy mode, like that can be very challenging because someone can easily slip up and then you have to start the whole raid over again. And the raid's going to take like an hour complete. So it was called like the Dauntless Raider achievement or something like that, and it had like 0.5, 0.3 completion rate, and it was a gold trophy, and you need that for the platinum. So I think that game probably has the lowest platinum rate out of probably any game. It was so difficult to do.
Yeah, but multiplayer trophies are terrible. I hate those trophies.
And I think
they're so hard to get.
But the one that's the worst, in my opinion, I wrote this down because I remember it, because I went back and actually thought I might try to platinum this game. Far Cry 4. Now you might be saying to yourselves, dear viewers, oh, Far Cry 4, it's a single-player game. It should be easy to platinum, right? No problem. Wrong! There are co-op trophies. The server for Far Cry 4 doesn't work anymore. So you can't even get them anymore.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you can't platinum Far Cry 4 anymore because they have co-op trophies. Your friend
is that local co-op? What do you mean by co-op?
Like you have to invite a friend into your game via their game. So they have to have a copy of the game on their own system, and you invite them to play with you, and they join into your world as a co-op buddy, and you have to complete like a couple missions together to get 2 co-op trophies. And I'm pretty sure last time I checked, the servers to do that aren't up anymore. So you can't complete those trophies. And those were like silvers. So without those, you can't get the platinum for Far Cry 4. It's locked. Granted, that was last time I checked. Maybe it's changed.
Lost in time.
Yeah, so I did want to bring up. So I think there are probably two kinds of trophies, and even with the two kinds of trophies, I think they have varying types of difficulty. So you have basically what I want to call completionist trophies, or actually we should just call them collectathon trophies. So like these are the trophies
Okay.
where it takes you basically it's collect everything, right? Collect everything. If there's a list in the game, you have to complete it, and I think the main the main feature of these trophies is basically time time spent, and they may or may not take multiple playthroughs for you to finish this, but these are like complete. If ultimately these trophies require time, as you put in enough time in the game, you will get them. You will get them. The second kind of trophy is we can call them mastery trophies, and these are mastery plats, and these are platinums where you actually need skill in order to complete them, and for that reason, your average gamer will never be able to get them, no matter how hard they try. But however, due to the way that trophies work, plats are usually also the collectathon plats as well, because usually most games they have trophies that collect everything anyway. Like basically that trophy is free, so you will have mastery trophies that will still have a grinding aspect to them, but there will be a trophy on top of it. Will be like, hey, you need to get good, basically get good. So like for example, I would say that Kingdom Hearts 3, the Remind Platinum is considered a mastery trophy because of the way that the data bosses are, right? The data bosses are so freaking hard. IDK can't even beat a single one of them. and I beat a couple of them, but it's definitely a mastery trophy. Like just to get to the secret boss, like you got to be pretty dang good. Like I don't even know what the rate is on that on the platinum rate. I think it's definitely less than 1%, because and Kingdom Hearts 3 Rewind is also a good example of why a mastery plat can also be a collectathon plat, because in Remind there are trophies that they force you to start an entirely new game, and you need to play through the game again, and then using like some kind of the modifier that they introduced in Remind. So I would say that if the data fights were a lot easier, then the Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind plat would be just a collectathon plat. But it is actually a mastery plat because it does take skill. And then another, for example, we talked about Persona 5 Vanilla. That is a collectathon plat because it's more of a time grind. And there isn't a trophy for the secret boss, but this is just
Wasn't there a difficulty trophy as well? Persona 5?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
Persona 5, no, there was not a difficulty trophy. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten the platinum.
So that one is considered. I would consider that a collectathon plat, just because it just takes time. So most mastery plats are also collectathon plats as well, but yeah. So I didn't know how, and there are varying degrees of this. Obviously, like one collectathon plat will take less time might take less time than another one. There are levels to this, and one mastery plat may not take as much as much skill, but it still I still think it definitely holds true. Like mastery plats, I won't even bother. Like if the game I'm not good at, like I'm not, I would say that we are probably above average gamers in terms of skill, but I don't think we are like tip of the iceberg. Like so, like if there's a mastery plat, and I'm gonna go over, we were gonna go over how our plats, but I believe that of all of them, I would say only one of mine is a mastery plat. Maybe another one is a mastery plat. So I think that I have two at most that are mastery plats. Let's say 1.5 that are mastery plats. Like some of these are impossible. And when we go over this, I'll give you guys more examples of some mastery plats that I came close, that I thought about, but I was like, yeah, no, it's not worth it.
I think, to me, I actually like mastery platinums, just the concept, because if you really like the game and you have to put effort into getting the trophy, I think that makes it even more worth it once you get it. It's almost like a real trophy in a sense.
Oh
Like
yeah, oh
I
yeah,
actually
it is.
did deserve this, right?
But some of them are impossible. Like some of them.
And that's totally fine. That's I think for us to not deeply care too much about trophies. I think that's totally okay, and I think that's why these mastery platinums mean so much more
Mm,
if you do get them.
yeah. So like it's like some mastery trophies, some mastery plats are just like capture the capture the golden snitch and have your name not be Harry Potter. Like that's what the trophy is. And you're like, yeah, no, that's not gonna happen.
So IDK, I assume you're the resident trophy hunter out of all of us. Do you have any favorite platinums?
Actually, I just brought up the list right now of my platinums because I wasn't sure how many I had.
So earlier when I said that I think I know who the one that has the most platinums.
Yeah.
My guess was definitely IDK. For the
Your
record,
guess,
it was IDK.
your guess was me.
Yes.
You thought I had
I
the
think
most.
you have more than I do. I'm pretty sure you do.
How many do you have?
One thing is that I
Because
think I used to have a lot of platinums,
yeah.
but they were on PS3, which was in a different account. So I don't have that account anymore, so I can't say how
What
much I
happened to that
have.
account? Did you lose the password?
But yeah, I lost the password. I don't care
Because
ultimately, but
so
yeah.
okay, so I have 6 platinums, but
Okay.
I think I should have 7 because one of them I earned for Juicy's old account.
Oh,
What game was it
was it
for?
Rock Band?
Yeah, I think I
Nice,
got you. I think I got you platinum for that game.
nice.
And yeah, because I'm
Okay.
sure we'll talk about our platinums, so I'll tell the story about it later. Anyways, IDK, how many platinums do you have? I'm pretty sure it's greater than 6.
You would be right.
Of
My
course I'm right.
platinums. Drum roll, please. 7.
7?
I
Only
have
7? I thought you had like
only
10.
7.
Dude, didn't you
I
get like 5 platinums this year?
uh, let me see. I got 4. I've gotten 4 platinums this year.
Okay, 'cause I've gotten 3 this year. I doubled my platinum count this year.
Yeah. So basically, I'm gonna go through them. My first platinum was for Ratchet and Clank, the Tools of Destruction. My second platinum was Ratchet and Clank. Uh,
I, 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 I have a suspicion you're a Ratchet and Clank fan.
I got 2 of them from Ratchet and Clank. Then my next 2 are from Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royale.
Yep.
And then I have Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
Horizon Zero Dawn, and Nier Automata.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually surprising. What's surprising to me though is the Persona 5 Vanilla Platinum is only 10%.
Yeah, no, because
Actually rare.
it's a real time sync. You need to play through the game twice.
It's very
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Maybe I should pull up my list.
I'm currently recovering my old PS3 account. So
Yeah.
but
IDK of those 7, what is your most memorable one?
y'all
Of
know what it
these
is.
guys,
Yeah, but yeah, I think we know
it's
what it
gotta
is.
be probably Persona 5.
Yeah, that's
And
what I
none of
Yes.
these games, none of these games have. I'll put it this way: Persona 5 came out. I put down Final Fantasy 15. I never picked it back up, and I played Persona 5 for 3 months straight.
Yes, you did.
I got
Notoriously.
more
Yes, you
hours.
did.
I got more hours in Persona 5 vanilla than I did in 3 months than I did in 2 years of Destiny 1. Destiny 1, I had 428 hours put into that game. Persona 5 vanilla, I was at 435. I was playing this game for days on end. It was the only game I played. I stopped playing League of Legends to play this game. I just kept playing it. I didn't want to stop. I was
Is that
addicted.
good?
It was that good. I got sucked in so hard. And I didn't want to stop playing. I was really sad when I completed the trophy list and I platinumed it and I was like, the game's over. There's nothing more to do. I was actually legit depressed for a little bit because I really loved it that much.
I feel you.
And like, I think the only other of these 7, like you put like P5 at the top, and then you can put like Royale right beneath it, kinda. Probably fights with the Ratchet and Clanks for that number 2, number 3 spot. Spider-Man's number 4, and then the rest fill in afterwards. Horizon Zero Dawn was probably the biggest slog after a Nier Automata in terms of trophies, because you couldn't just pay off that game. You had to play it. And with that one, I actually did have a guide. I did actually do a little bit of the Kagros style, where I had a guide on the side, just like for when I got stuck on something. It was like, oh, this trophy. Like, okay, guide. Tell me where I have to go for this thing. It was like, oh, you have to go here and do this thing. Okay. But otherwise, I actually did enjoy that game quite a bit. But if I didn't have a guide, I don't think I would have completed it. I would have just been happy getting like 80% done. I needed that little extra boost to get through with it.
All right, so I guess I should go over mine then.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, all right, so I have a total of 6. So I'm looking through it now. So I plugged in my PlayStation now, so I can't actually see what you guys look like right now. I'm like on one monitor. So my first one is actually Call of Duty Black Ops. That's my very first platinum, and I believe, and the rate on this one is 0.3%.
Wow.
And that one is definitely a mastery trophy. Like that one had some. It's pretty. It's actually pretty dang difficult. So this one is 0.3%, and Call of Duty trophies are actually, at least the ones that have single player campaign, are actually pretty difficult. Like I think I tried to get another one, Call of Duty 2 Black Ops. So that one is actually 1%, but I think it's even harder because it requires you to actually, let me see, what am I missing here? Oh yes. Oh, actually, huh? Oh yeah. So each campaign mission has like challenges, and it takes a while to do them, and some of them are pretty difficult. So I'm surprised the rate is higher than Black Ops 1. Anyways, the second one that I have is Infamous, which is definitely a completionist trophy, but because you have to play through the game twice, once on
Wow.
once on Infamous mode and then one on Goody Two Shoes mode.
Mm-hmm.
And that one has a completion rate of 1.9. And then after that is Last of Us, Part 1. And, wow, I'm surprised. So, the platinum rate on this one is 0.5%. This one is, I would say, is also a completionist trophy. But for some, it might be a mastery trophy because this is definitely, there's a difficulty level setting on this. Which is, and it looks like that's why it's pretty hard. So, you need to complete the game on Survivor mode, which is the hardest mode, and then after that you have to complete it again on Survivor Plus mode. So it takes a minimum of 2 playthroughs. So this might, I guess you could consider it a mastery trophy, but it probably is a mastery because you do have to complete on the highest difficulty setting. But it is also a huge time sink too. All right, and then after that, I believe the next one is going to be Persona 5 Royal, 16.7%. I think we've already talked about this. It's pretty easy to platinum. I'm surprised the rate is pretty low. Actually, I thought it'd be higher, but I guess the Persona 5 Royal people can't be bothered to finish the game, right?
Maybe it's the Reaper.
No, actually, the second rare trophy is ordered from the special menu at the maid cafe. 21%. Reaper is number 3 at 28%. Pretty
People
fun.
just don't know it exists.
All right, and then after that, the next one is Kingdom Hearts 3, clocking in at a 3.5% rate. This one is completionist trophy. I don't think it's. This is just it. Just takes time. There's nothing too difficult about it, which is why I finished it. And by the way, I think IDK. I still think you should platinum it if you want to raise that cap from. You want to add another one there.
Which game?
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, I was actually just thinking about
Don't
it.
do it.
Why,
Don't
why
do
not?
it.
I was
Why
thinking
not?
about it.
What's wrong with Kingdom Hearts?
I haven't. I haven't.
You only do it if you like the game.
I mean,
If you enjoy playing the game.
it's not too bad. Come on, it's Kingdom Hearts 3, dude. Dude,
Nah, don't do it.
Donald gave his life so you could play the game. So you could platinum the game.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna
But he's still kicking.
You gonna let Donald Duck sacrifice be in vain?
He didn't sacrifice anything. He's back. He's back from the grave. He's good. Zeta Flame didn't knock him out. He got Phoenix down. He's good.
Alright, so finally the last platinum I have is Last of Us 2. Clocking at 4.2%. I'm surprised actually it's also a lot lower than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be higher because this is also a completionist trophy. It doesn't take long it takes 1.5 playthroughs to basically to finish this. So yeah. So anyways, those are mine. So I think among all of these, the hardest one I have is definitely Call of Duty Black Ops, which is also my first one. So it's pretty cool that my first platinum was actually a pretty difficult one to get. Which, like I said, I named all the rates already, but that is the one with the lowest rate with 0.3%. So my first platinum is also my rarest platinum. But I think in terms of my favorite one, I would have to say my favorite one. Unfortunately for our podcast, I know we are all Persona 5 fans, but my favorite platinum is probably the Infamous one. I think because you do need to play through the game twice, but the game is actually very different between the two plays. It's like you're playing it's like you're playing a different game because of the play styles that are between the two different routes are very different. Like in one route, the city loves you, and then another route, the citizens just randomly throw shit at you because you're basically a villain. And I think that one is probably my favorite platinum. And I really wish that I could have platinumed Infamous 2 and Second Son, but I never got around to playing those games again. Maybe I might pick up Second Son and play through the good route. But like Infamous 1, I think is probably my favorite platinum that among all of these that I own. It's a mix of just enjoying the story and a mix of spending time in the game.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I feel like that has probably one of the best trophy lists, right? Because you're able to replay it. The second replay is a different experience,
Mm-hmm.
and you like the game. It's a really good game. So
Yep.
that's awesome.
Yep.
So I pulled up my old account.
Yep.
And I found out that I had 3 platinums on there, so I have 4 in total, going in chronological order from the latest to the most oldest, I guess. So the latest one, Persona 5 Royal, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and then the three PS3 games that I platinumed. Assassin's Creed 2. That's a true collectathon where you have to collect them damn feathers, collect all of the vantage points. But I actually love that game, and that's why I did all of that. And then apparently I platinumed God of War 3, and then my first platinum, which I intentionally wanted to get platinum on this game because I actually liked the game a lot, was Final Fantasy 13. And I remember playing it in our apartment in college and just trying to grind it out and get that level. I forget what was like the last trophy, but I think it was essentially like get all the weapons or something. So I remember that very fondly. But I think all of these games were collectathons. So yeah, and
I mean, I think most
yeah.
RPGs are probably collectathons. They're not mastery. They aren't going to be mastery plats. It's just basically spending time, right? Spending. I think RPG trophies are basically spend time in the game and explore things that you don't see in the main story, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think like shooters, and games with multiplayer will probably are probably going to be mastery plats because those
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
So
They sound so hard.
yeah. So
Especially with like multiplayer, that's super hard.
are you serious? Like I thought we got platinum on Rock Band 2. Is it not is it not platinum? What do we miss?
Let me try to find it.
Cuz we got the hardest trophy. Like
So apparently, I've only completed it 42%.
Rock Band 2? Oh, it might include DLC or something like that. I don't know about that. Really? Is the Bladder of Steel trophy, was that completed?
I'm looking for it.
Is there it's a gold trophy. It's probably the hardest one in my opinion in Rock Band 2.
I actually feel like it's not the hardest.
No,
Is it the final? Is it the final countdown?
no,
No.
the trophy is called Bladder of Steel. It has to be the hardest one. That's definitely the hardest one. That one's a mastery trophy. That one's a mastery trophy.
You actually needed more like additional people to help.
Yes.
I don't see it. I don't.
Really?
I don't
Whose
see
account
it.
did I do it on? It had to be yours, so we did it on your PlayStation.
I don't see it.
No way. It's Rock Band 2, The Bladder of Steel. It's the. Let me see. Yeah, it's a gold. It's a gold trophy.
Mm,
Yeah, I wonder whose account did I earn it on then.
we
Not
never got
mine.
it. Not on my account.
All right, hold on. Let me take a look
It
at
could have been on yours.
No, I don't think so. I actually looked up the Rock Band 2 trophy list when I was looking through it. I was only at 26%. There's no way a gold trophy is like worth a crap ton. So there's no way that I did it on mine. Let me see. Let me take a look at the Rock Band 2 achievement list. Let me let's see what we got here.
So I guess the one thing I appreciate from trophies is that it's a good way to see what games you played in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So just going through my old account, it's really nostalgic. So like one of the more recent games we played on PlayStation 3 was Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Oh god, yeah, that one's a master trophy for sure.
Oh, for
That one's a
sure.
master because like
For
you need to
sure.
hit a certain rank on multi on online, and
Mhm.
I could never do that. I was gonna ask my friend to do it for me. That's a master
Man.
trophy for sure.
Yeah, no. Looking through my list here, like I'm on PSN profiles.
Mm-hmm.
So like I loaded up all my info from that.
Oh, PSN profiles. Let me see.
Like it even shows games like you've played you haven't completed, and Uncharted, Drake's Fortune remastered. Like I think that is a mastery game, and it's also a grind collectathon game because I remember looking at the guides to get the platinum for that game, and I immediately was like, "No, I'm not going to do it because the game feels really clunky to play as, and you have to play on the hardest difficulty the entire game, which means you have to master every single level in order to actually get through it, while also collecting hidden items, all the relics. I was like, no, there's no way I'm doing that. It is so clunky of a shooter.
So, going back to Rock Band. So Rock Band 2, I think this is probably the best story that I do have for for all of us too. So Rock Band 2, I looked at the trophy list just now. I'm pretty sure I have completed all of this stuff. Like I looked at there's like 4 secret trophies. I think we completed all of them. So one of them was you need to get max. So there's stars in the game. So not only do you have to get 5 stars, it has to be 5 golden stars, and you need to get it with one person on every single instrument. So you need to have the bass, you need to have guitar, you need to have vocals, and you need to have drums. So when we were playing this game, I was like, all right, guys, we need to get this. So what we did was that I think we had a party that night too at our place. And then we're like, all right, guys, we need to get this trophy. So I was on guitar, Juicy was on drums. I forgot who was on bass. But and then I think Sam was on vocals. I think Sam was on vocals. I know Sam was either on I think she was on vocals. And so then we're like, all right, guys, what's the easiest song? So then we did the Beastie Boys song. I forgot what the name of the song was. But we did Beastie Boys. It took us like 5 tries to do it because we were trying to like figure out everything, and then finally on the 5th playthrough, we got it all working. And it was bad because it was also difficult because one of the guitars, when you had all 4 players connected, it would lag. So there was a delay on it. So then we had to calibrate for that too. So, but then we got it. So that's one of the harder trophies. The other one is called the Bladder of Steel, which is basically you need to play through the endless set list without stopping. So the moment you pause, you're done. So I think like one Saturday morning, I was like, all right, I'm doing this. I ate breakfast, and I'm like, all right, 6 hours, here we go.
Wow.
And then 3 hours in, so the reason why they call it Bladder of Steel is because you're not, you can't pee while you're playing the game, right? So I'm like, hey, IDK, can you take over this song for me? I just need you to do one song. And I put it on normal mode so that I wouldn't fail, because the tail end of it is really difficult if you set it on impossible mode or whatever I forgot the highest mode is. And then I'm like, IDK, it's on regular mode. Just take one song for me so I can use the bathroom. So IDK, what a champ. He's like, I got you. So then he takes the guitar. So I finish the song. Immediately I take it off. I pass it to him, and I just run to the bathroom. And then IDK, he could have trolled me. He's like, you just spent the last 3 hours playing this stupid game, and I'm going to snap your streak. He could have trolled me. But he was like, not. Like, back then he wasn't such a huge troll,
Nah, man, you give a guitar to me, it's time to shred, baby. Shred, rock and roll.
So then I came back from the bathroom. IDK finished the song, hands it back to me, and I finished the rest of the set. So I'm very, very sad. Like, how? Like, I earned the trophy for somebody. Who did I earn the trophy for?
No idea.
Eat with forks? Heck no. No way. He wasn't even on the... Or maybe it was for IDK. Maybe. Were we using IDK's PS3 at that time? This was like 2009. No, like early 2010. Were we using? I think we were still using. Were we using IDK's? IDK, why don't you check your list? See if there's a Rock Band 2 thing on your.
I'm looking at it. Can't find any Rock Band at all. I don't have Rock Band on my account. Only Rocket League. That wasn't me.
Dang, who did I earn it for then? Oh.
I do feel like my account is missing trophies. So I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah. And anyways, if I had a Rock Band 2 trophy on my account, that is probably the most memorable one because of the time. Because that one I needed to earn it. I needed your guys' help to get that platinum. So if let's say I had the Rock Band 2 trophy, that one by far is the most memorable one. Because that that's just that was our 2010, right? We spent a lot of 2010 playing Rock Band, right? So I think definitely that one would be my most memorable platinum. We all got it together. We can say that we all got that platinum together.
What about you, Juicy? Are there any platinums you can think of off the top of your head that maybe were memorable, or are there any games you remember completing or beating that you, well, not beating, but completing that like you were happy to do?
I'm pretty sure it was Final Fantasy 13. But that game, it's very linear until you get to this one part where you're in the plains and you see these big monsters. So that's all I just remember in my memory is going around grinding, and then once I got that platinum, I remember feeling relieved and just telling myself, I did it. I did
Did
it.
it? I
And
did.
I'm done.
I'm done with this game.
Like I was happy. Like I wasn't exhausted or anything. It actually felt like a trophy because I really wanted it. Um
It felt like an
so yeah.
accomplishment.
Yeah. An achievement, some would say.
Yeah, and I suppose we can
What
bring
about
this
you,
up now.
IDK?
Well, like what you're saying, off my 7th, I had platinumed. Persona 5 was the one I think I poured the most
Right.
hours to get, and that was like not even because I just want to get the trophies. It was like I want to play more of the game. I want to experience everything. I thinking about it now, I think my ranking would have to be Persona 5 at number 1, and then number 2 would actually be Ratchet and Clank: Tools of Destruction. Because that was a game I played for the earnest love of the game. I loved that game so much. I played it 5 or 6 times. Not back to back, but like I would pick it up and be like bored. I have nothing else to play. I would pick up that game and play it, even though I'd beaten it. And just by randomly playing it over and over, I eventually got the platinum for it. Because I was having fun playing the game. I liked that world. It sucked me in. And it was always fun to go back to it and play it. That was probably the first game ever that I ever did that for. I've always been more of a story guy where like I beat the story, I'm done with the game, bye bye. I don't go back to it. But that game was so good, I just kept playing it. And then Persona 5 was like the second one to do that. And then after that, most memorable, I think at third it's like a tie between Spider-Man was a pretty good platinum. I enjoyed platinuming that. That was fun. I was really happy to platinum Horizon Zero Dawn. Finally done with it. Because there was a lot of kind of, not a ton of them, but there were a couple of BS trophies that were really hard to do. So that was sort of like an accomplishment. And then Nier Automata because of the trophy store. Because it was like, I've never seen this in a game before.
You paid for that one.
I don't think I'll ever see this again, but this is genius, man. Letting me enjoy as much of the game as I want to and knowing full well that I may be here for a platinum. So if I want the platinum, I can just use in-game currency and get it. That was pretty memorable.
Like there are some games though it's pretty difficult. Like I really want to platinum Danganronpa, but like the post game, you play Danganronpa for the main story, but there is some post game, but it's not as compelling as the main story. So then like I didn't want to bother doing the post game, which was basically a grind fest. If you like the characters, and basically it was to max out all the characters. So like in Danganronpa, each character has 5 hearts that you can get in the main story, and then after that in the post game you can get 5 additional hearts, and there are a total of 16 characters. So like that's basically just you're just grinding for hearts at that point. And by the time you finish the first, the game, you probably out of the 160 hearts, you probably have like 15 at most. So you need to grind hearts, and then I'm like, I don't care for some of these characters. It's not worth it, so I'm not gonna bother. So that one is an example of a grind fest one. I wanted to also platinum Assassin's Creed 2 as well, but there was a bug in the trophies. So like,
Mm.
and like in the cathedrals, there's like some kind of special feature in the cathedrals. I forgot exactly the term for it, but like you can enter like a special area if you go through the cathedral at a certain point, and then there's and then each cathedral has an achievement when you finish it. And so I think like
Yeah,
you enter the
yeah.
cathedral and then like you go to the top and then it starts like this platformer thing, this platformer, and then like at the top of the cathedral there's something special you get. So then there's a trophy for I think there's like 4 or 5 cathedrals. Each one has their own trophy. So I remember finishing one of them, and then the trophy was not awarded. I was like, what the hell? I just spent like 20 minutes on this thing. How come the thing wasn't awarded? And then I go to the next one and I tried it and I completed that one as well, and it wasn't awarded again. I was like, what the hell is this crap? Like, so like I wanted to platinum it, but the trophies weren't registering. So I was like, screw this. I'm not gonna bother anymore because I'm not gonna go through this. I'm not even sure if you could replay it after that as well. So
Interesting.
yeah, so I forgot. It was one of the Assassin's Creed 2 ones, but I was like, yeah, no, like I want to platinum this, but you ain't letting me.
And that Ubisoft. Damn that Ubisoft.
And like I remember looking it up too, and some people were saying that, oh yeah, it didn't register for me either. I was like, yeah, not screw this.
Them bugs.
Yeah.
Them bugs. Trapping you. I was looking through my list of stuff, and apparently I have a bunch of games that are actually like kind of close to platinuming. Like, what game was it? Uh, the Wolf Among Us. I'm actually only 5 trophies away from platinuming. There's only one problem though. I didn't play The Wolf Among Us. My
Was
older
it,
brother did.
Was it Thanksta? Oh, your older brother.
No,
Brother.
no, no. On the PS4 apparently.
Mm.
So, like, he literally just missed like finding the lore for each chapter.
Hey,
That's all I have to do to get that.
Give him a call. Tell him, hey, go back and finish your job. Go finish your job.
But, it's like, and then there's some other ones like I'm pretty close. Like I like almost all of them. I looked at Destiny. I looked at Destiny 1 because I thought that was gonna be super hard to complete. But no, apparently not. It's like a 7%. I thought it was gonna be way lower. And that one I'm actually almost done with too. But I am not going back to Destiny 1. Mainly because I think it's a ghost town now, but also because the ones I was saying. So you had to complete a strike with a full fire team consisting only of your clan members. That one actually wouldn't be that bad. Then this is the one, Flawless Raider. Complete a raid without anyone in your fire team dying. That one is a 2% ultra rare. That is super hard to do because all it takes is like one person messing up, and then that entire raid is just like pointless. It's gone. You have to redo the entire thing again.
Oh, Last of Us 1 is actually more difficult to get. Not only do you need to do Survivor, complete that on Survivor, but you also Survivor Plus. There's also multiplayer factions. They have trophies for that too, which I actually enjoyed the multiplayer portion of Last of Us 1. But I can see, and the servers might be down now. I don't even know if they still maintain those servers. They probably shut them down by now, so it's probably you're locked out of platinum. But there were multiplayer trophies that you had to do, and that also contributes to the low platinum rate as well. Like a game that's made for a single player but has multiplayer on it, I think it's a lot more difficult to platinum because most people they won't bother with the multiplayer aspect. Like I think did Uncharted have multiplayer portion?
Not the first one.
What about the later games?
Maybe because they do have multiplayer.
Okay, yeah. So like, those ones are a little more difficult because people that buy that game usually do it for the single player. They don't do it for multiplayer, and it might be difficult. Like Last of Us Last of Us One multiplayer was, it was all right, but it's not going to be for everybody for sure.
So I'm really excited that we're all going to play 13 Sentinels together eventually.
Yes.
Maybe for this next weekend. Should we try to platinum it together? Can someone check how difficult it is and
Yeah, here.
kind of like
I'll look.
how many playthroughs and whatnot? Are there any missable trophies?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure because 13 Sentinels is it is a branching game. There is probably a trophy for getting all the branches. That might make this one a grind fest.
Maybe. I think I saw on a list when I was looking for like my other games to see how hard they were. And I think I saw it as like a 3 out of 10 or 4 out of 10. It wasn't actually super hard. But I don't know what the criteria for that rating was. So I don't know.
Hold up, I'm loading up PSN profiles. It gives you an idea. So apparently the platinum rate on this is pretty high, 61% according to PSN
Wow.
PSN profiles.
And there we go.
Yeah, it's 61%. So there are 8,000 game overs, and 5,000 of them have platinum. So maybe it is pretty easy.
Oh, but it doesn't. Okay.
That's just for PSN profiles. PSN profiles, I think, is more dedicated gamers, so the rate's probably higher than it actually is.
Yeah.
Let me see what it says for Last of Us and see if it's similar.
I thought there was a site that says like there's like PSN trophies that tells you it's like a guide that tells you how many playthroughs and how hard it is.
It probably is. According to PSN profiles, 13 Sentinels has a 73% average completion.
Yeah, so
61%.
PSN profiles also has for Last of Us 2 31% platinum for Last of Us 2, and PSN itself, I think it said 16%. So it's definitely higher, obviously, because people that submit their things are more dedicated gamers. So I'm guessing during Nintendo is probably like 30 or 40% platinum rate, which is still pretty dang high. So yep. I mean, we can take a look and see if we can do it. Maybe we.
I mean,
can get
I'm gonna do it.
Adventurers group platinum, huh? On a certain game, huh?
Yeah, but I do not want to look at the list, so I'm letting you two look at the list. I'm good.
I looked at the list right now, and
it's all story completion. It looks like it's all completion.
It doesn't seem very hard. There's a lot of story completion. There are some at the bottom there for the battle system. That don't seem like they like looking at the completion rates on them. They don't seem very hard. It's just going to be a matter of simply playing and unlocking the ability to do those requirements. Sounds fine with me. Another easy platinum for my pile.
Well, I can't wait. I can't wait until IDK gets his copy, and then we can all start it soon.
I got it right here.
Yeah, I know.
I got it right here, guys. I got it right here.
I'm waiting.
It's right here. IDK, let me open this game and let me play it. I don't want to play Danganronpa anymore.
Don't go. Get a head start. Jeez. You know me. I'm
we
going
gotta
to
do it together.
Well, you know, the thing
It'll
is...
be like playing Kingdom Hearts 3 together. But then these two fools got way ahead of themselves, but I'm slow. I'm slow at games. So it might happen again.
I mean, this game is a branching game. We might end up on different routes. You never know, right?
All I know is I'm going to keep my mouth shut so I don't spoil both of you.
I mean, it depends when we start. Like, if we're playing this through, through the week of after Christmas, when everything is shut down, I think, we'll make equal. I think I can keep up with IDK, because
I think so too.
Actually, no, IDK, you're not. Are you even off the week after Christmas? You still have work, right?
The week after Christmas, normally I'm off, but this year I think I may have to work, so I won't have a. Hey, oh, don't give me that shit. I want it. I'll take time off. Damn it, because there's no LA trip. I don't have that guaranteed time off. So, uh, you know, we'll see. And this game might. I don't know how it goes. I don't know what the story's like, but it may end up being one of those things where like we have to wait until we're all done to talk about it, so we don't ruin it for each other. Just because it seems like there's multiple paths to take. Seems like it's going to get very interesting. But I know this. I will try to platinum this game because I want it. And
Hey, don't say it. I think we need to all play it and see if we enjoy it. If we all enjoy it, then we can decide to platinum together. Let's disregard the fact that it looks like it's a pretty easy platinum.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. My Lord and Savior Yoko Taro was interviewed about this game a year ago. And he said everyone should go out and buy this game and beat it. I think it's good. Play it now. I will obey the Moon Man.
Is he just like a fan of this game, or is he a part of the development?
No, he's not part of it at all. They literally Atlas randomly got Yoko Taro to talk about the game. They let him play it for like 3 hours, and he's like, "Why are you asking me to talk about it? Get the guy who made the game to talk about it." It was pretty funny because in all his interviews and all his public appearances, he always shows up with his little creepy moon man helmet thing.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to show me what he looks like, and yeah, I kind of want him and Nomura to make a game together.
Yeah.
It would blow all of our minds.
After we beat this, I have another game in mind for us to play.
Oh, really?
I got you guys. I got one.
I've
got one.
Tell us what it is now, so we can get excited.
Sure, I can tell you. It's called AI.
AI.
You're not
Somnium.
You're not just messing with us, are you?
No, I'm not. No, sure. No.
It's called AI.
IDK got it. IDK said it.
AI Somnium Files. Yeah. That game does look very interesting, actually. I watched a teeny tiny bit of one of my streamers playing it, and I was like,
I think
what the fuck's going on?
It's the same guy that did Zero Escape. This is the Zero Escape series. So, anyways, let's not talk about that. We can talk about this another time. Let's finish eating. Let's finish eating this meal first before we go to the next one. I know we all fatties. We all like to look ahead at what we're eating next. We got to finish this meal first.
I mean, the thing is, also, this game we're all playing together as a group, but let's not forget about our winner this year.
Right. Juicy has to. Yes.
But,
that's first.
But the thing is, I think we've gone all a little off track of the topic.
Yes.
Trophies. Back to trophies. Let's do a conclusion for this. I found a random quote when I was looking for Yoko Taro's feelings on trophies. You know, he thinks trophy hunting is stupid. But someone said this in the forums I found. They said this 3 years ago. Trophies are just bonus small stickers for your personal enjoyment of completion. They're not even close to actual completion rewards. Don't know. I feel older games did a better job at preparing satisfying in-game rewards for completion. Nowadays, a lot of content already got offered from the start, and there's not much things to unlock anymore because they already available at start or locked as DLC. Because of that, people got blinded thinking of trophies as worthy rewards. Thoughts, gentlemen?
100% agree.
I don't agree with that. Like, what older game had content that was locked behind completion? Like, besides fighting games, right? Obviously, because fighting games, they had the unlock characters as you play, like Smash, right?
Yeah.
They had, you still need to earn the roster. But really, what game had things that were locked behind completion? Like, I look at all the classic games that I've played, like Ocarina of Time. No, everything was. You didn't have any post game in that game. What else? I know some
I
games
think
like after you beat them, you got like super cheat codes that you could enter, you know. But that
I think I think what this person was referring to were some games like Spyro or Jack and Dexter. Like I know Jack and Dexter 1 had a collection reward. You had to get all the precursor orbs. It was like 180 of them. It's kind of insane. And doing that unlocked a special cutscene. Basically, was a hint for the sequel. Spyro the Dragon had the same thing.
oh, it's like Kingdom
You
Hearts, right?
collected,
It's like Kingdom Hearts.
yeah, it's a collectathon. You collect a whole bunch of stuff, and you unlock a special secret ending. Um,
Yeah,
there are some games where you could collect or do a certain percentage of the game, and you unlocked more challenge, like Crash Bandicoot. You 100% of the game, and then it was like, oh yeah, there's more challenges for you to do, so you can get 106%.
yeah. So it's
And
I think
I
it's
think
true. It's true. Like they hide like cutscenes something behind. The problem is with like nowadays it's like just like what you guys did, or I think what we all did, right? For Kingdom Hearts 3 was like, oh hey, I can't beat all these data bosses to watch the secret ending, right? I'm just gonna go watch it
yeah,
online. So there's
we
no
have
reason there's no reason for people to hide content behind completing, basically behind trophies, right? Because we can just
But that's the thing. That's what the trophies have done now. Instead of it being like completing the game just for completing the game to unlock the special cutscene, and now you can see online for free on YouTube. It's like, well, now there's these trophies you need to unlock for your credit, for your gamer score, or for your trophy
yeah,
profile.
yeah.
Like, there's the prestige of it, but that's it. Whereas before, if you beat Spyro 1 and you thought it was the end, your friend had it too, and they beat it, and they're like, oh no, man, did you see the secret ending? And they were like, what secret ending?
Yeah,
That
exactly.
drove
Yeah.
you back in to play the game because you wanted to know. And sometimes your friends would politely fuck with you and tell you something that was a lie. Hey man, you get Mew? It's underneath the truck. So and so.
Truck.
You're pushing on the truck. You're trying to get Mew, and it's like you never get it because they were fucking with you. So that
It's amazing how many people like this was like the advent of the internet, right? How many people like use how we all knew about this Mew under the truck thing, right? Like how
yeah,
how how did
but
how did that
it spread
happen?
like wildfire. It was on playgrounds. It was in classrooms. People talked about it. People would call
It
each
was
other
just
about
word
it.
of
So people
mouth.
told
It was just word of
word of
mouth.
mouth spread everywhere. And then finally, it took until like the actual proper internet being established for it to be
Debunked.
extinguished as a
Yeah.
myth. It's not real. And like missing number and the secret Pokey and Peekaboo and all that stuff.
Peekaboo. Yeah. Peekaboo
You
was
know,
under the truck.
that sort of thing doesn't exist anymore because we have the internet. Because I can look up instantly to tell whether you're lying or not. But trophies are sort of there to like anchor you and be like, you know, you saw the secret ending online, but you didn't actually see it in game. You actually didn't get your money's worth from that Kingdom Hearts DLC.
Yeah. So
Thought that rings in my head every
Pokemon
night.
had the original platinum, dude. Pokemon Red and Blue had the original platinum, where if you got all 150 Pokemon, you go talk to the guy that works for Game Freak and sell it on City, and he gives you a
Mhm.
certificate that you can print out on a Game Boy printer. That's your platinum trophy right there. That's your platinum trophy. That is an actual completion reward, right? And they don't
Yeah.
do that. They don't do that nowadays. Like I have Let's Go Pikachu right here. The reward for catching all 150 Pokemon in that game is to get a shiny stone, which will increase the rate that you find shiny Pokemon. But like I like if you compare the two games, right? Like
Mhm.
the OG Red and Blue had a tangible completion reward, right? You got a certificate that said that you caught all 150. Whereas in Let's Go, you get an item that makes it easier for you to hunt, special variants of the existing Pokemon. And for that reason, most people actually say that even after you collect all 150 in Let's Go, the game actually starts where you have to collect 150 shiny Pokemon, and that item helps kickstart that. And good luck shiny hunting. I might actually try it. I don't know. I haven't beaten the game yet, so
I will say this, and this will be a sort of like our concluding point. Going back to Nintendo, old dear Nintendo, one of my more fondest memories of playing in the Wii era was when I completed Super Mario Galaxy 2. I actually beat the game got all like 120 stars with Mario. And the game was like, hey, guess what? You can play as Luigi. You can get all the stars again. They're all green stars and they're all
yes.
spots. And I went and I got them all. 240 stars. I completed that. You know what Nintendo did that shocked me? They sent me a message saying congratulations on completing the game and getting all the stars. And they took a photo of when I did it, when I got the last star. Here's the kicker, though. I thought it was just me who got that message. My friends got the message. My friend I hadn't spoken to said, hey, congratulations on getting all the stars. I'm like, how do you know that? He's like, well, my Nintendo Wii told me. What? Oh?
Nani?
What? So, I think at the end of the day, whether you hate or love trophies, they are an experience attached to our games. And if you choose to interact with them and complete them, they can be very fulfilling or very soul draining. And having them there, I think, is probably for the best in the end.
Mm-hmm.
For the completionists who want to complete a game and have a set, defined list, A to Z, of what they need to do to say they've completed a game, it's there. It's no longer an ambiguous, like, oh, get 100% in the game or something. It's black and blue, 1 to 5, do this, and you've completed the game. And for those of us who just simply want to beat a game because we bought it, because we thought it looked good, and at the end of the day it wasn't that good, we can just punch right through it and throw it away forever and not care.
Mr. IDK, I think the bottom line as well is this is also what we said in the Pokemon episode too. Platinum. Everything is more fun when you do it with fellow adventurers, right?
I agree.
Getting these platinum trophies. I'm very interested in this 13 Sentinels if we end up doing the platinum trophy together. I think it's a lot more fun, when you do it with, your fellow adventurers, right? Like the Pokemon, we said that it's a lot more fun when you play it with your friends, right? I think the same thing works for trophy hunting too. Is definitely a lot more fun with your fellow adventurers.
I think if you can compete, see who gets done first, or you can compete to see who actually finishes, and then also so that you get a full understanding of the game.
This guy's.
Who are you pointing to?
I'm pointing. So you guys can't. You guys don't know what I'm pointing to. But IDK is right underneath me, so I'm pointing at him. This guy is gonna finish it first. I guarantee you. Yes. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll wait for you guys to get ahead of me, and then I'll zoom back up and catch up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I am without a game right now because I can't. Like I said, I'm not going to complete God of War until I get a PS5, so I can have it in 60 FPS. And probably when I get Miles Morales, I'll complete that game because I love Spider-Man. And there'll be plenty of games for me to complete on PS5, but
Just
I can't get a PS5.
Cage 3, IDK. You have plenty of time to do it.
We'll see. If my trophy hunter activates and I feel like it. Well, all right. I think we've talked long enough about these glorious bastards. Anything else you guys want to say before we sign off?
No, I think you covered it.
I got nothing to say. I was gonna say I have the biggest EP out there, but I don't have anything to prove that.
I think out of all of us, like I said, this guy here has the biggest EP out of all of us right here. I mean, he clearly with the most platinum trophies. I was surprised that my EP was just a little bit smaller than his.
Just the extra inch, baby.
The extra
inch is all that matters.
Just 1 inch, right? Just
1 inch.
Just 1 inch.
Punch.
Yes.
Well, all right then, gentlemen. We've exhausted this topic. I think it's time for us to say goodnight. So on behalf of the Thumbstick Adventurers, I say adieu.
Bye bye.